Hello, everybody, and happy Tuesday. It's another edition of the wrap up here. I am, as always, your host, Monte Moore. It was the first media availability day of OTAs. There was a practice in, so I just wanted to get on here and just kind of give a couple news and notes. Matt LaFleur had a pre-practice presser, and he had some interesting things to say. He obviously was asked about, you know, Aaron Rodgers being there. He's not going to be there. No surprise to anybody. He's missing the voluntary OTAs, but he did speak with him this week. He said he's in great spirits, and he also stressed, these are voluntary workouts. I think Tom Clements, it was maybe a week or so ago, said Aaron doesn't need to be here right now. So I know there's a lot of consternation and worry about should he be getting time in with these, the rookie receivers and all of that, but uh, he did say, Rogers, that is, on McAfee previously, that he's going to be there for mandatory camp. June is just around the corner here. So I think a lot is going to be made of it, of course, but I think it's all pretty much a non-story in general. He did mention also that there's going to be another joint practice. So this will be the third year in a row, I believe. I know it was the Texans. Last year was the Jets, and Matt LaFleur said this year it's going to be the Saints. I believe that's ahead of the week 2 preseason game. I did like that he specifically said he enjoys these joint practices because it gives them a different level of competition. And he said it affords us the ability to feel like we got good work in with our veterans, but not have them play in the game. And I know there's always a lot of back and forth, right? Should the Packers be playing in the preseason? They come out slow, especially last year against the Saints. But the Matt LaFleur and the rest of the staff clearly thinks there is some real benefit to these joint practices. So it sounds like that's something that you can expect to continue as long as he's the head coach. He did also. He was asked about Robert Tunyon and how much they're going to miss him before he can be back. Obviously, as a guy that was had such good chemistry with Rodgers, as a guy that had such good kind of a breakout season in 2020. They will miss him, but I like that he specifically said something about Tyler Davis, which is I think the second or third time now he's kind of brought him up and effused praise for him, almost on what's the word I'm looking for, without anyone else having asked him the question about Tyler Davis. He said Tyler Davis is a player that Rich Bisaccia was actually very excited about, one of the young players. But he needs to continue to learn and develop and show us what he can do. So it does seem like they like what they have there. Obviously, it's not a one-to-one replacement for Robert Tunyon, but it's the room, I believe, from the outside is getting more heat for being bare than I feel like it is within the locker room. So that is a good sign. And obviously, he was asked about Jordan Love. He did give a few nuggets. The good quote I liked for him though said it's a big offseason for Jordan Love. It's a great opportunity for him, and he hasn't probably gotten the number of reps that anybody would like, which again, the biggest thing, surrounding Jordan Love, can he or can't he, is we just haven't seen if he can. So, it might be a bad thing to some people that Rodgers isn't here for these workouts, but every single rep, that Jordan Love can get is huge. So making the most of this opportunity for him is going to be gigantic. And I remember Rodgers previously saying, it was really that third year that, if there's a switch to be flipped, that for him, that's when it flipped and things, just kind of started seeming a little bit more, a little slowed down, a little bit easier. So all eyes were going to be on Jordan Love regardless, but I think even more so now. And then just a few notes from practice itself. I won't get into the play-by-play here of who did what or anything like that, but it was interesting that guys like Campbell, Aaron Jones, and Amos were all active participants in special teams drills. So again, a group that obviously needs an overhaul. Overhauled it with the coach number one, but it seems like, at least in practice, they're really efforting and getting their best players to contribute where they are needed the most at this point. Guys that were there, the aforementioned Aaron Jones, Devondre Campbell, Adrian Amos. But I saw Matt Schneidman also said he saw Kenny Clark, Dean Lowry, Randall Cobb, Darnell Savage. So there was a good amount of vets in there getting work done. AJ Dillon as well. Guys that Matt Schneidman said he did not see: Watkins, obviously, again, Aaron Rodgers, Lazard, Jair, Rasul Douglas, Gary, Jonathan Garvin, Randy Ramsey, Big Dog, and Preston Smith. Kylan Hill, David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, Robert Tunyon, and Dean Lowry were all working on the side doing workout rehab things. So it's good to see that, the guys with injuries are there getting work done. And the one last thing I wanted to point out here is, we know last year they were mixing up the line a lot, especially, early in OTAs, early in camp. And the very first offensive line lineup of OTAs was Yash Nyman, John Runyon, Josh Myers, Royce Newman, and Cole Van Lannen. So just like we did last year, I would expect to see a lot of mixed lineups throughout the course of this program. I mean, I remember Ben Braden was a guy who was, just mentioned in a presser that, oh, he's going to be contending for a starting spot. So they clearly, Matt LaFleur always loves best five, and they're really going to be mixing up to see what those best five actually will be. And again, that's, with two guys coming off of injury in Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins. Kenny Clark got some work at three technique, I saw reported, and they ran a lot of TJ Slayton at nose tackle with Jerron Reed at defensive end. So, I mean, for the first time in a really long time, this D line is not only talented, but it's also deep. So that's going to be a very, very interesting battle to watch going forward through camp. That was it for today. OTAs are, we're kind of in that dead zone. So it's nice that, when we get pressers, we do get news from practice, but we're very much in the can camp hurry up and start, because we know when that happens, the regular season's right around the corner. So thank you guys for tuning in, and go ahead and keep it here to Cheesehead TV on YouTube and on Twitter for all your necessary Packer updates. And as always, go Pack Go.